Hello friends, in this video let's have a look at problem 2956. Find common elements between two arrays. This is a newly appeared problem which is actually very easy. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how we design the code. So we are going to practice the use of dictionary abstract data type. So here we are given two arrays, nums1 and nums2. So we want to calculate the following two values. So basically they are symmetric. So I will just look at one. So we want to find the number of indices I, such that nums1I occurs at least once in nums2. So similarly for the other number. So we return an integer array answer of size 2, counting the two values in the above order. So here we have two examples. So if you look at 4, right? So it does not appear in num2. 3, it appears once. So but we have two 3s. So we are going to count 2. Then 2 also appears, but we have 1, 2. So we're going to have 3. So but 1 does not appear. So we're going to have 3 for this first element. Then you can do the same symmetrically. So in example 2, so these two nums list, if you consider them as two sets, they are disjoint, so you are going to get 0, 0. So here, and also if you look at the problem size, it's actually very small. So n and m are bounded above by 100, right? So with that said, basically we can directly write in the code. So here I'm going to practice. So this basic practice, right? So the basic practice will be dictionary, right? So here specifically I'm going to use counter. So counter is a subclass of dictionary, right? So counter basically give a list or iterable. We're going to count the unique elements and their corresponding frequencies. So with that said, let's first do the coding, and then we're going to explain a little bit about the design. So here we're going to have a count1 collections counter, right? So nums1. So similarly, nums1, right? And then you can do the same thing for the second one. So I'm going to change this one to be 2. So now we can do the compute. Let's see, result 1. So we get 0. So we are going to compute this one. So here we already have the dictionary information, right? So let's do for kv in count1 items, right? So then we're going to seek if this number appears in the second dictionary. So basically we are going to check if count2. So we're going to use get method. So because we can pass a default value. If this key does not appear in the second dictionary, so we're going to set it to be 0. So if this guy is greater than 0, it means it appears at least once. Then we're going to count those elements. But we don't need to count each single one. We can do a block, a batch count, that is increment result 1 by the corresponding frequency. So essentially we do the same thing for result for the second one. So let me do this. Copy that. Let's change this one to be 2, right? So this let's use 2, and let's use 1, and also this use 2, right? Then what we're going to return will be result 1 and result 2. And let's do a test. Let's directly submit. Yeah, so this way of writing will work fine, but here, we just have compute two numbers. So this is actually 2 verbose. So let me explain a little bit of design, right? So I'm going to copy this part. So here I'm going to use this one as version v1. So because we use this twice, actually, so the redundancy. So we can write a hyperfunction, right? So retrieve, or just the function f. You can name it as you like. So we can pass this to dictionaries. This one is dictionary and the other, right? Right. So if we compute this number, so we can just copy this part. Copy this part here. And then what we are going to have is this one, right? So we don't need the result 1. So let's result. So for kv in this current dictionary, let's look at D, right? So we're going to check other, right? We're going to get, if that's nothing, we're going to do this, right? So, but we can do the return result, right? So then what we are going to do, so here we are going to return two values, but we need to call this function twice, right? But in a symmetric way. So we can do return, so f, so this is the count 1, let's see, then the other is count 2. So then if you copy this part, and then you can do a switch, so you can do 2 and 1. Let's test this case. Yeah, it passes one example. Now let's look at generic case. So this is another way for writing this one. Here I'm using this function as a nested function within this function. Or if you invoke this class, you can say this is the method of this class. But also another way, let's change this one to be version v2. So you can use as a method to do this. Let's see. We can use this one as values. But now I want to upgrade this one, say to be, I can copy this part. I can cut it. I can use it as a method, right? So you can use it as a the general or vanilla method. You can just do this, and then you can do self f. Let's test that, right? So yeah, if you don't want to pass this one, you can also use some decorative, let's see, class method, right? Class method. Because logically it's not that tight, so we can use, don't need this, we can pass this one, right, if you like. So in this case, we can call this solution, right? Solution, because this is the class method. Of course, you can also call it using an object. Let's test it. So this is the one way. And also you can use a static method, because indeed the logic is not that strong, right? So if a standard method, you can call this way again. Let's test it. Yeah, that's basically about it. So here we are using this simple problem, so to practice the use of dictionary or use a counter. So here we count the unique values in the list and their frequencies. And also we are using this get method. So this method is very convenient, because if the key is not in the another dictionary, so you can set it default value to tailor our logic. So afterwards, so we see, oh, we have some repetition, so we write a hyperfunction. And then we also touch some concept in object-oriented programming in Python. So we can use a method. So first we use it as a common method, right? Vanilla method. So which we need to have a self as an argument, default argument. And then we use it as a class method. We pass the CLS argument to the method. And then we use it as a static method. Then we pass we pass nothing, just the one we want. So actually you can, if you like, you can write this function outside this class, right? So then you can call that. So that's also a choice. Let's do that. Maybe. So here I'm going to do this, right? So I'm going to copy that, and then we can put it here, right? And then we copy this part, and then so I'm going to change this one to be v3, and then this method. So we are going to use this function. This actually related to scope, so action scope. So this, in order to distinguish, I can change this to be G. So just to distinguish, it actually still work if we do not change. So we have this. Let's test it. It passes because this function is within this class, but so this function we can call this function because of the way we put it. So with that said, I guess that's about it for this video. Thank you.